Welcome back to LewyT's Amusement Academy. This is part 3, where we will learn how to create a controllable character and other fun stuff. Okay, so in order to get a character controller in our game, to go to the Asset Store, so this button up here is Asset Store Web. It opens a web browser, and we're going to go to Starter Assets first. I think third person controller is what we want. If you start typing Starter Assets, you should see this in there, but even if you don't see it, you can type it all out or search for what you're doing. Now, I can tell this is the one that I'm looking for because it says purchased. Now, it's free, so my purchase didn't cost me anything, but if you click on that, you can click add to my assets, but in my case, because I've already purchased it, it says open in Unity instead. If you click add to my assets, then after that you can click open in Unity. I think there will be a button at the top to click open in Unity. Click on that. So now we're back in Unity, the editor, and it's automatically loaded up in the package manager, the starter assets third person controller package, and there's a button called import, and it'll have a number next to it, but that's just because that's the version that is currently in the store. Click on that button, and it'll tell you in order to use this package you need some other stuff, and you can just click install upgrade and it will automatically get those other things. Once it gets done with that, then it goes to the import screen, and it's this little separate window that pops up, and there's a big list of stuff with checkboxes, and by default I think they're all checked, and that's good. I would recommend keeping them all checked, and then click the import button at the bottom. Okay, it looks like it is installed. Okay, now that we have the starter assets, it is in our project tab. So under project, there's this tree view, and one of these folders should be called starter assets. Expand that out. Inside that is third person controller, and inside third person controller is scenes. And one of the files inside scenes is called playground. Now there's two things that say playground, but one of them is another folder. But the one we're looking for has the icon that looks similar to the Unity icon. So we can zoom out to see that a little bit better. So let's just open that. Loading a new scene takes a little while, and it first comes in, everything is bright blue, and then it finishes loading. So this is a world. We'll look around in it, back up and over. I did not make this. This is downloaded from the starter assets. And it has a character in it. And it looks kind of like a robot. Now let's just hit the play button and see how it works. Okay, we're now in the game tab and everything is bright blue, but it's starting to load in. Okay, so the game tab, my mouse is moving the camera. Camera is always pointing at this character. As I move the mouse one way, it moves the camera. And the W, A, S, and D keys are how you control the character. So let's just move forward, backwards. So W is forwards, S is backwards, A is left, and D is right. And there's things like shift to run, space to jump, and so on. you can play around with this. This is basically a level built with to kind of demonstrate the abilities of this character to run around. But this is just a demo for this character controller. You can see how it works. So let's try to put this in our scene that we've made. Okay, we're going to go back to our scene. So under assets, there's a folder called scenes, and there's sample scene. So we just open it up, and this is the one similar to what we designed earlier. I want to put this character into my scene. So we're going to go back into the starter assets, third person controller, but instead of scenes, we're going to go to prefabs. Prefabs has a few different options. These ones with the long names are the ones that you can just drop into basically any world. I'm going to do the one that says armature in the middle. Nested parent armature unpack is the one with the robot. The other one is just a kind of a capsule shape. So let's just drag it in here, drop it. That was a left drag, and it loads. But as you can see, let's get closer. The robot is partially underground, so we'll just drag it up. Those feet are above the ground. And now let's, here's one more thing. Before we play, we need to make sure that we don't have a camera in our world. Now, I've already deleted it, but you will likely have a camera in here in your world. That camera will conflict with the camera that's on the character. So you need to delete the extra one that's just at the top level of the world. Leave the one that's in the character. And then let's play. Okay, here we are. We're basically the same type of setup as we had. We can move around with the mouse. We can look around, and then W to go forward, S to go backwards, A to walk left, and D to walk right. And space to jump, shift to run, etc. So that's pretty cool. But perhaps you want to do something with your own character. Okay, so now let's try out the other character controller. So I'm going to click on this nested parent armature in hierarchy and delete it. And then I'm going to go to the nested parent capsule unpack, drag it in, and like that, we drag it up so it's above the ground. And the same thing should work if we hit play. Okay, everything works the same way. It's just a much simpler character. Now, as you can imagine, if we just were able to replace this with any other kind of character, it might look pretty cool based on however we want our character to look. Now, one thing that you might have noticed is these buttons. There's the arrows and the eye and these other buttons. These are designed to work with like a tablet or a phone. Right now, we're just designing it on a computer, a Windows PC, at least for my example, and I don't need that. They look strange to be on the screen when you are not using them for a touch screen. It's not a touch screen, so I'm going to remove it. So when you open up in the hierarchy, open up nested parent capsule unpack, there is this one object called UI canvas starter assets inputs joystick, and who knows, maybe it goes along. No, that's it. And then you can open that up, and it's got all these individual objects on it. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Now, I'm in play mode, so if I delete it, they go away. If I hit stop, they will come back. So I need to delete it when I'm not in play mode, and then when I hit play, they should still be gone. There we go. So now I would like to explain something about the hierarchy that may not be clear yet. So as you can see now that we have multiple items, some of them have a little triangle next to them, and you click on it, it opens up, and there's more items underneath. So this concept of a hierarchy is that you have one object that's controlling other objects. And you can go multiple levels deep, where really the top level object is the scene itself, and then you've got all these objects like the light and the plane and the cube. And then also in this scene is this nested capsule player controller object. It is a top level object, and it has a camera, and it has a capsule and some other stuff inside, but each object may or may not have children underneath it. And it's demonstrated by the way it's indented. So the children are set slightly to the right of the parent. And if you click the triangle, they disappear. And another thing I want to show you, back up a little bit, go to the move tool. If I move this object, it is moving all of its children. So I'm selected on the parent object, which is this one, and this main camera, which is over here, is being moved with the parent object. So, and the same thing works for any of these other tools, like when you rotate, it rotates all of them. So you probably want your character to not look like a blob capsule shape, and I am in agreement with that. So the Unity Asset Store has lots of options. Go Asset Store Web, like we did before. And we are looking, oh, here's the thing. If you start looking for 3D characters, which is what we need, you are going to go down a rabbit hole. You're going to find all kinds of cool stuff. Of course, most of them cost money, so you can check mark the free option. Let's see, where was that at? Free. And there's still a lot of pretty cool stuff. But if you just get anything that you think looks cool, I can't guarantee that it will work with the game we're making. Or maybe it'll work, but it won't look right. If the animations are too complicated, you're going to have to do some work to get them to work correctly. So I happen to know of a pack of simple characters that will be very easy to get going, and you won't have to do too much complicated stuff. And then we can learn the more complicated stuff later, once we've got the basics under control. Level 1 monster pack. Press enter. See if it finds it. There it is. It's this level 1 monster pack. It's free. I've already got it, so it says purchased. If you click on it, I have open in Unity. You will have add to my assets. You want to click that, and then open in Unity will appear near the top, I believe. And then we're going to go ahead and do that. So my assets, level 1 monster pack. So you will have a download button. I've already downloaded it, so after you download it, there will be an import button. Let's go ahead and import. Let's go ahead and import all of them. There's actually 4 different characters. They're all kind of cool, so I'll import them. Shout out to PI Entertainment Limited for making a nice, simple, easy to use set of characters. Okay, so it's done importing. I'm going to go to the scene view, and then I'm going to go down here to the project, and I'm going to find my level 1 monster pack in the assets. It's a folder underneath assets, so we open up that folder, and there's other folders inside of it. Prefabs is a good place to start. The word prefab means like an already built object that's ready to use in the game, and usually it's made from more than one thing. So under prefabs, there is the 4 different characters. Slime is the simple one that I want to use for our character. And let's start with the green slime. I'm just opening the prefab in the scene view, and as you can see, it looks a little funny. It's all pink. It's not green like we expected. And the problem is very simple to fix. So I don't know if this character was made for like an older version of Unity with a different kind of graphic system, but if we go into the hierarchy of this character, so this prefab is built from several different objects, and the mesh is, well, no, not the mesh, slime level 1. So underneath the mesh, there's slime level 1, and there is this slime green material in the inspector. There's something wrong with the material. It's not actually green. We click on this drop down that says shader. There is, first before we click, we'll see it says mobile unlit. And because I clicked on this here, it opens up this thing, and you can see there's a picture that is associated with a shader, and it is green, or it has some green on it. But the shader is just the problem. Universal render pipeline. So this, anything you find in here should work. And we are looking for a simple lit, I think is a good one. So simple meaning it's not too complicated, and lit meaning light will shine on it, and so where the light shines on it, it will be lighter, and where the light is not shining on it, it will be darker. Whereas if you do something called unlit, it will look differently. So I'm clicking simple lit, and there we go. You can see that it's still not green, but you can see more of the shape. So because of the lighting shading, you can see the mouth. If we scroll down in here, there's these settings under the shader, under the material. There's a color. We could just change this color to green and make it green, but that's not necessary. Let's change it back to white. And instead of checking the color, we're going to click on this little box. It looks like a checkbox, but it's not. It's actually supposed to be a picture in there, and it's actually not the box to click on. It's the little circle beside it. Click on that, and then now it brings up a list of all the textures in your project. And I think I can find the one we're looking for. It's called slime green, right down here. There it is. It opens up our preview down here. I'm going to double click on it, and now suddenly our character looks like a bona fide green slime. It's not only got lighting and a greenness to it, but there's texture. There's little streaks and different types of I don't know, drips of slime coming off of him. It's so cute. So that is really all you need to do to get this character working. If you want any of the other colors, you'll have to do the same thing to them. So let's go with the blue slime and go to the slime level 1 and change it to Universal Render Pipeline Simple Lit, and open that up and select the blue slime. Okay, now that we have our green slime set up to actually look green, we're going to go back to our regular scene. and we want to replace the capsule with the green slime. So we're going to open up this nested capsule. We're looking for the actual capsule. This one says player capsule, but it may or may not be the right one. Let's open it up and see if there's anything else. So the actual capsule that is the thing that we see is this one that just says capsule. And you can check to make sure that that's right by unchecking it. And if it disappears, looks like the whole thing disappears, then you got the right one. So I'm going to leave it unchecked for now. And I want to replace it with this slime green. Now I'm going to drag from my project into the hierarchy. I'm going to be really careful where it lands. I want to put it in basically the same spot as the capsule, but not inside the capsule. So if I put it here, it'll be beside the capsule. But if I drag it and drop it right on the word capsule, it will be a child of the capsule, and that's not what we want. If you do that by accident, it's okay. So I'm gonna do this way. In fact, I'll do it the wrong way first, just to show you how easy it is to fix. So it's there, but it's a child of the disabled invisible capsule, so it's also invisible. But if I move it outside, it'll show this blue line right where it's going to be. Drag it there and let go, and it's now it's a brighter color. That means it's not disabled. Capsule is still disabled. We can delete it. Now we still don't see the slime, but I believe it's because it's very, very small. So if we go look at the scale of the slime, it says 0.7. So I'm going to change the scale to 1. And all for X, Y, and Z will be 1. Now I still can't see it. So let's try 10. This time I'm going to check the link to make them all change together. Let's go add a 0 on there. Boom. Hey, there is a little green slime appeared on the screen. He was just so small that you couldn't see him. Now, 10 is still pretty small. The capsule used to be a lot bigger than that. So let's go ahead and make him 100. Whoa, that may be too big. Now I'm going to go back to the level above the slime called the player capsule. And so that's the one that's got a lot of information on it. And when it's selected, you can see this kind of a wireframe of a capsule. And, whoops, I deselected. And that indicates the where the character is supposed to be, where his physical presence is, and as you can see, the slime is much bigger than that. So I'm going to go ahead and change him back. So it's 10 was too small, 100's too big. So let's try 50. Now I'm going to go click on this and see how it fits. It's not too bad. I would say that's pretty close. You can tweak it however much you want to get it as close as you want. Now, one thing that I think is not quite right, I want to see the bottom of this wireframe. Let me just get closer. Okay, so I want the bottom of the slime to be at the bottom of the wireframe of that capsule. So while I'm selecting on the slime character, I can move him down. Now I can't see the wireframe, but I'm just going to move him down, and then I'm going to go back to the wireframe. He looks like he's still too high. I'm going to go back to the slime and move him down. Layer capsule. Whoops. Yeah, I'm going to move him down a little bit more. Layer capsule. Now that might be too much. I don't know. Looks pretty good to me. Now, I think we're ready to try it out. And we're going to go ahead and click play and see what happens. Okay, There's my character. He's blue at first, but that's just because the texture hadn't loaded. Now, if we move around, you can see that he's actually facing the direction he moves, and the controls are still the same. You can jump, which seems strange for a slime unless you play games where the slimes can jump. But anyway, that is our slime character, very simply set up, and you have controls. Okay, I know you're going to want to play around with this on your own, and you should. This is a major milestone in making a game. I encourage you to practice what you've learned in any of the first 3 parts. So thank you for watching part 3 of LewyT's Amusement Academy. In part 4, we will work on creating a more interesting world for the slime to live in, and maybe some other stuff.